Hey fish friends, how's it going? Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks with another video. Wanted to do an update on this tank. This is my planted South American tank, and I've done some different videos on this tank in the past. It's been running for a little while, but I thought I'd do an update and kind of talk about what I've done and what my plans are and where I want to go. This is a 65-gallon tall, and it is a dirted substrate tank. So I was wanting to do a kind of a low-tech tank that was pretty heavily planted and lush, and didn't want to get into CO2 and although there's some great CO2 systems obviously, but didn't really want to. I just wanted something simple, low maintenance. Didn't want to spend a lot of money on lighting and CO2, etc. So I actually decided to do a dirted tank. So what a dirted tank is, it's you use an organic topsoil, dirt, to create your bottom layer of your substrate, and then you can cap it off with a little bit of sand. And that's what I did. So I did a lot of research. Dustin's Aquariums, I think it's on fishtanktv.com or whatever, but he's really big into the dirted scene, and I watched several of his videos and got some ideas, and here I am. So this tank, like I said, it's 65 gallons. I've got I think I've got 4 angels. I've got some obviously are tank bred, and then I've got one wild-caught Peruvian. I've got a couple dozen wild-caught cardinals. I've got a school of rummy-nosed tetras. I have a couple bristle-nosed plecostomus in there. I have and about 9 corridoras, and one lone black neon that was in another tank that I moved in this tank because he was by his lonesome and didn't have a school. So I used to have a German blue ram, and he was in here for quite a while actually, but didn't make it, as they're not the hardiest of species due to inbreeding and things like that. So anyway, as far as filtration, I have a hang on the back filter. The hang on the back filter actually is full of lava rock, so that is what I use for biological filtration. And so I just filled it with some rinsed small pieces of lava rock, and that allows the beneficial bacteria to have something to establish themselves on, and they can help organically or biologically filter the water. I also have a large sponge filter. I think it was an Aqua Solutions, and they're owned by Hikari. It's like a 75-gallon rated sponge filter. So that's running on air, obviously. And then I also have a power head in there in the back behind the sponge filter, and that power head has a large sponge pre-filter. So really I've got mechanical filtration going on to some extent from the sponge filter, and then the pre-filter on the power head, and then I also do have a little bit of filter floss in the hang on the back as well. So I've got 3 different filters that are offering water movement and filtration. So that's been great. This is actually the easiest tank that I have. Well, second easiest. The easiest one's the beta tank. But it's really easy to maintain. I don't have to do a lot. A little bit of trimming of some plants when I have some leaves melting, and there's a couple plants in there that I need to trim back a little bit. But overall, I just do water changes and feed them, and they've been it's been a really easy tank to maintain, and really happy with it. Very happy with my experience with the Dirt-Substrate, and if I were to do it over again, I may get some better lights, because it is a tall tank. There's quite a bit of depth, so it's hard sometimes for that light to penetrate all the way down. So and I've got 3 different lights on here. I have 2 T8s. They are both they're only 17 watts a piece, so they're not high output at all. And I've got a full spectrum, like a daylight bulb. I have a Flora Max, I think, which is a planted bulb. It's kind of more on the red spectrum. And then I have an LED on there, and the LED is really white and blue, so not a whole lot for plants, but does help in enhancing the color of the tank. So that's what I have for lighting. So, you know, as far as watts per gallon are concerned, it's really on the low side. But as you can see, the tanks are, plants are doing very well. I've got a lot of driftwood in there, a lot. And actually the whole back wall is driftwood. And that really helps in kind of giving it more of a tannin colored look, you know, to the water. And then I do have some grape wood in there as well to add some character and some depth to the tank. So, and then the last little thing that I did, I've actually done this to all 11 of my tanks now, is I'm doing these little labels, and they actually serve 3 purposes. And I apologize, it's not coming into focus there, and it's not bright. But what it is I put a label on the base of all of my tanks, and what it does is it serves a purpose for me to remember, in some cases, what I have in a tank, more so the genus than the scientific name. So, you know, like for example, I have a shell dweller tank, and it says, you know, Lamprologus multifasciatus, and then it has a common name. It tells a little bit about the fish. So, you know, it talks about the fish being from Lake Tanganyika, et cetera, and kind of their habits. And then it has feeding instructions. So for me, it helps to, you know, remember the genus name, or the, you know, the scientific name, the common name. It also helps with like teaching the kids that are coming over, either my kids or their friends or whatever, hey, it's a cool tank, what's in there? They can learn a little bit about it. And then also it has feeding instructions. So I travel quite a bit, not always home. Some of the tanks are on auto feeders, some of them are not. So like my large African cichlid tanks are on auto feeders just because they eat so much. But some of the tanks like this one are not on the auto feeder. I have 11 tanks, and I don't have 11 auto feeders, and I've got 3 of them, and they're on the African cichlid tanks. And so they have feeding instructions, and it's very specific on what food to use and how much. And that way the kids can help feed the fish while I'm away. And that negates the necessity of having to have auto feeders, as I have kids, and that's how I pay their allowance. So anyway, it was just something fun I did. My wife teases me and tells me that it's kind of like going to the public aquarium or something, where they have the description of the tank and the scientific name and all that stuff. And that's kind of where I got the idea, obviously minus the feeding instructions and the care instructions. But thought it was just kind of a fun addition to have. And I put them all on, I used a business card template just on my computer, and printed them out, and put them in little plastic sleeves so that they can stay dry. And if I, you know, change the fish or anything, I can slide them out and put in a new card. So anyway, that's my update for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the comments, the feedback. Please feel free to subscribe. I'll try to post videos often, so there's stuff to watch. And thanks again, and look forward to our next video. Thanks very much.